Welcome to Yankton, South Dakota, the Lewis and Clark Recreation Area on the Missouri River. This is the reflection video for episode 3 of volume 1, which was on illusions. This is actually the third video in my YouTube channel on illusions, on physical things that we don't see. But it's the first included in SCOTOMAVILLE. Why is that important? Well, I want to convince you in this video that there's great value for you observing me looking back, because you will be able to look forward to the outcome you'll have on your personal Everest. What? Watch me look back so you can look forward. Look at the one on the left, the orange dot on the left, and the orange dot on the right. Who's bigger? Who's more correct? Which one has more power? The left or the right? Which one's correct? The right or the left? You see what's going on? Turns out they're identical. Measure them. They're both exactly the same. What you see is not reality. What you see is a perception, and you can easily be fooled. We're going to go into that a bit more. Let's look at some more. There's a chessboard. You see the squares? Are all the squares different colored? Well, they should be, right? They're a chessboard. So check out A and B and look really closely, because what you're going to find out is A and B are exactly the same color, the same hue, the same shade of gray. They're not different colors. What? Look again. Okay, let's switch back and forth. Get it? They're exactly the same shade, but because of the proximity of another object. You see that in logic, you see that in storylines, you see that in accusations without evidence, corroboration. That's been thrown all around. That's coming at us. And I'm talking about the big picture of dataism. You're not going to get the whole picture. This is I want to say ancient, but it's not really ancient, but it's at least 100 years old. You can only see one at a time. You see the old lady, or you see the young maiden, depending on which one that you... The old hag looking down, the young maiden looking away, right? Which one is it? I want to show you a scotoma that I've had. You see, here's a list of people that I respect, have followed, have mentored me over the decades, and I'm trying to do likewise and put together all of this for you, right? I observed a scotoma that I've had thinking about people I'm following. In other words, looking at them saying something and thinking, wow, that is awesome, right? Really great insight that I've never had before. And so I would think that was their first time of thinking it. It's not true at all. They practice and practice and practice. And how do I know that? Well, because I'm doing the same thing now. All right, so what's another aspect of this journey that can be an illusion? It's this. It's the false belief that your paraphernalia, the number of toys you have, the property that you own or don't own, is more accurate, has any indication as to the value or the ultimate outcome of your enterprise, your mission, your venture. Like an oxygen bottle going up Everest. The problem is You don't know how long it's going to take to get there, and you may run out of oxygen, in which case now you're in a loop that you got to go get some more. Don't be part of the useless class. Don't let the illusion of entertainment distract you from your mission, and don't let the avarice associated with lots of collateral, lots of toys, don't let that be the thing that holds you back. Okay, I'm done with my soapbox. That's what I've had to learn. That's part of putting those crampons and getting the backpack and the junk to go has been the delay. It's a lot to learn. It's a lot to unpack, if you will. Watch it a few times. I'm earnest about it. All of me. I know what this is. You see, the illusion is, oh, Daniel's got this all figured out. He's all smart. No, I don't. I've simply said, okay, I'm ready. Let's go. Let's tell the story. So an illusion is, you can map it all out like an architect, like I used to do with buildings. Figure out every step between here and there. Map it all out. Nope. You don't know enough yet. It's too complicated. Nobody knows enough yet. It's way more complicated than humans can figure it out. You wait. Convergence is coming. If I dare say transhumanism, doesn't freak too many of you out. Onboarding of our, well, let's just call it Internet of Things being onboarded. You got a lot of change coming. A lot of change, and you may not think it's going to happen. Start telling your story. The illusion is you've got all the time in the world. I fell off a glacier. I thought I was just going up to have some fun with some friends. Life can change in an instant. Angelina's car wreck. She was supposed to be on Apprentice 3. She was just heading back from the studio. All over. Not even her fault. You don't know. None of us knows. That's worth thinking about. You gotta make light or see things in a humorous fashion at times, even though what you have in your mind is not always what you can create. You have to let go sometimes and being a creator. So you'll notice I have earplugs in, and the whole story behind that is last week, this week, today. So we're on the road in a couple of weeks. Last couple of episodes here I'm going to do on the way. Now, in this clip you're seeing me talk about I do, you watch. You're still doing that, and you see it in the book. So there is where I iterated again and again and again about the method of SCOTOMAVILLE impartation. On the base level, I have to make an episode. That's what this is. It's an episode of a series which is part of a corpus. You see all the layers? I do, you watch. This is unscripted. I'm doing, you're watching me. That's so that we can watch. You join the 360 Men journey, the expedition, the book, the video series. Come be a part of this whole thing. Learn what this is about. And look at that. It's like, what's that guy that used to have the... Yeah, I'll think of it and include that here. Anyway, that's a weird little juxtaposition. And then eventually it'll be you do, I watch as the corpus gets built. He used to write... You guys, do you know who he is? Good evening. He had it. I'll look it up. Stick it in here. We'll go with that. Okay, so these are the 3 different layers, and this episode's going to be really fun. We're going to talk about illusions. See, the basic premise here is we don't see things the way they are. We see things the way we are. We don't always see things very clearly. We see things based on our interpretation, our confirmation bias, the way Dataism narrows our worldview by giving us confirmation bias based on our clicks and our whereabouts and our data trail. Okay, let's come to my computer and have a look at an illusion. Okay, 2 cameras today. Hey, the guy's name was Alfred Hitchcock, and he always had, not always, but he often had a shadow cast on the wall as he talked, and his theme was always make the audience suffer as much as possible, right? Hopefully that's not the case with you guys. The thing to catch is that I am retelling and practicing again and again. And in the final print and in the SCOTOMAVILLE series, out comes things that I have said for years. On dataism, on illusion, on following 3 up, 2 down, 1 overall, doing your due diligence with onus probandi. These things are practices. In this clip, I talk about the value of the journey. The journey that you make with your family and with yourself and with your future generations, you should tell that story, because the journey is what's valuable. It's not what you acquire. It's not even the things that you post and build and leave as a legacy. It's not that at all. It's the experience and the wake that you make. Well, at that point, I had not yet articulated that the greatest expedition you will ever undertake is the journey to self-understanding. You see, that came about with practice, multiple times of shooting. Please note, the latest development of my thinking on SCOTOMAVILLE has given me a better phraseology, a more exact articulation of SCOTOMAVILLE. And it's really quite simple. I went to sleep thinking about Elon Musk and Twitter and all of the complexity of his communication, and I sort of asked myself, I wonder how Elon would communicate SCOTOMAVILLE. And when I woke up, I had 2 thoughts. I had one, he'd say, well, it's about sensor fault, right? Sight, hearing, smell, taste, touch, sensor fault. We don't see things the way they are. We see things the way we are. The other piece is that it's a processor fault, right? And I want you to practice with me by drawing this out, follow along, and put it to memory. There's only 4 bits to the processing fault. First one is things are chaotic. We want to sort that out. Second, we find patterns to do that. And then we try to use only 20 watts conservation of energy in order to create a story within a very short time frame. Got it? Ball of yarn, Big Dipper, a hard drive at 20 watts, and an hourglass. That's all you really need to understand for processing fault. So in conclusion, I want to thank you for watching me look back so that you can look forward. All right? There's a chipmunk at my feet. Well done on the reflection for episode 3. By you watching me look back, you can look forward. That's an interesting thought. Remember, sensory fault and processor fault. Those are things to be aware of. And in a final postscript, P.S., a great thanks to Adam for allowing an old man to ramble and practice my new terms of sensor fault and processor fault and 4% walled garden and on and on. Thanks, Adam. You're much appreciated for your attention, and well done on getting your butt out of SCOTOMAVILLE. See you next episode.